going to go without the music. Hey, everyone. How is everyone doing tonight? On panel, we have Mud Rabbit.
Hey,
And
I'm doing great.
I know. I love that you're doing great. And we have Cursed Zero. Zero.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I exist.
I'm glad you exist. Don't I tell you that all the time? I'm very glad you exist. Hi,
You're
everybody.
here.
Let's see. The first one in the chat was Ricky. Hey, Ricky. Hope to see you tonight on panel. Hope you're coming up. And then we have Cat in the Birdcage. And who else? Am I missing anybody?
I haven't seen anybody else yet.
And of course, Mud. So, guys, how's everybody doing today?
Oh, man, I exhausted myself out in the yard today. But it was worth it. I'm going to have a kick-ass garden this year.
I did too. I exhausted myself in the garden today too.
It was the day for it.
Oh, it was
look who appeared, Mud.
Speak of the devil.
Who is it?
Jacob. Come up on panel, Jacob.
The link's pinned.
It's at the top. We were just talking about you.
Yeah, get your pepper jack cheese ass up here.
This is why we were late, guys. We were talking about pepper jack cheese.
Yes, we were talking about the...
Yeah, but we were talking... He says he's not the devil. No, you're not the devil. I said, speak of the devil. There's an old saying, speak of the devil and he appears. So when somebody appears right after you've been speaking of them, that's what the old timers say.
Come on up, Jacob.
Come on. We won't bite.
I was just thinking. I just said that same.
This is your bone marrow, bro. Come on, man. This is your wheelhouse. Don't tell me it's not.
Time travel. That's what we're talking about tonight, everybody. We're going to have a video lined up. If it works, you know, my technical issues and stuff like that. But if it works, we're talking about time travel. Because somebody gave me homework to watch a movie on time travel. And I actually
finally did it.
And I finally
watched it.
It's only been a couple months, but I finally watched it. I finally found it and watched it.
But whenever she gives me homework, I do it that exact same night before I go to sleep.
Who
grades it?
I can say to that, to be honest with you.
Who grades it?
In other words, I already watched the 2 movies that you sent me.
Did you like them?
I have mixed thoughts about the MK Ultra one, but the other one was pretty cool. But it's like, be ready to be shocked with the MK Ultra one. Be ready to, like, you're going to see stuff you don't want to see. Things are going to happen that you don't want to see. Stuff like that. That's kind of it's shock value. The MK Ultra one. But what was the name of it? I'm bad with remembering shit, but I know what I've done. The 222. As soon as I loaded it up and it went to like a minute or two, and I'm like, yep, I've seen this movie already. But I sat down and I rewatched it, and it looked about it. I didn't see anything that was different in it this time that was noticeable, that caught my eye, so to speak.
I didn't even know of that movie. It supposedly came out so the name of the movie is 222 and like a digital clock. So it's very interesting. Kind of throws a little bit of time travel versus, I guess you would say,
reincarnation. It's a reincarnation time travel love story.
Yes,
it's kind of how I'd sum it up without spoiling it.
Hey, Michael Fontaine, how are you? Hope you're doing good. But yeah, it's a time travel reincarnation movie. But the MK Ultra one was really good. I thought it was decent, but it is shocking. There are shocking moments in it. It is not for. It is definitely not PG or PG-13. Do not see.
And it gets more like it starts off in the beginning all calm and cozy, and you realize what's coming, and then it slaps you, and you're like, okay, and then it just pulls out the gun and just blows you away. It's like, wow, like the last part is like fast paced. The last bit, the last actions that go on is pretty fast paced, but you see how it kind of builds up to all that.
Yeah, it does get kind of a little raunchy at times, I think, but it is a good movie nevertheless. So the one that Curse had me watch, guys, was the history of time travel. Definite recommend, highly recommend. It is fictional, but it is good, and it does have some good points in it too. And it kind of inspired this live
Yeah,
stream.
we met a while back, Cat in a Birdcage, and I don't remember how we knew each other. Maybe you was live and I was on your lives or something, and we bullshitted back and forth on your lives. It's pretty about how we know each other.
Cat's been around for a while. I think Cat was on Patrick Roberts, and I think he goes on Scarabs, I think, too. I'm not sure. Let me know about that Cat. But he was also on Propagades. Oh, who is that?
Since we're on the topic of time travel, and I know that you have a video to.
Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Holy shit. He actually
What?
came in.
Who? Hey, there he is.
You
Good
guys
to see
hear?
you, Jacob.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm here. I'm here.
Did you get any pepper jack cheese?
Actually, I bought 24 slices of pepper jack cheese and some roast beef.
She thought I was joking. Cy literally thought I was joking that anytime I bring her up to you, you slap me with pepper jack cheese. And I legitimately proved it to her tonight that anytime, it don't matter.
I bought a bunch of pepper jack cheese today.
Where, down in Florida?
No, I'm back in Illinois.
Oh, I thought maybe you went shopping to take home souvenirs.
No,
Well, if it shows up in my fridge, I'll take a picture and send it to Kirst. He can send it to you. And
fair enough.
so are you into the time travel thing, Jacob?
It's only my favorite topic.
Oh, only your favorite.
Oh, yeah.
So he probably know about what I'm about to talk about.
We used to hang out over on Aaron's when Andrew Basciago would do the afternoon shows. He's the guy from Project Pegasus.
Okay.
Yeah, he was in multiple time travel programs.
Yeah, he's the only one, I believe.
Well, since you're kind of like the expert here, Jacob, why don't you fill us in on a little bit of time about time travel?
I'm an expert on nothing. I'm a dabbler in everything. Like I said, I'm just interested in the topic. I like hearing other people's discussions on it. I often bounce like movies and stuff off of Kirst to get his idea of like what he thinks of like the time travel paradoxes that are usually put into movies and how much of it we can accept. But me and Chris recently got into a
disagreement about how things work with time travel.
Yeah. I'm under the impression that like displacement is a thing. I think if somebody left our timeline, I think it's very possible that somebody from an alternative timeline would come in and fill that void.
And I'm completely against that idea.
Okay, so you think that if one is removed, another one will replace it?
I think it would have to. I don't think two can exist in, or the person leaving has to be going where there's not a copy of yourself.
Or
And
where
I
that
think,
copy's leaving.
yes, you could go to where that copy's leaving. I think that's possible, but I just don't think those two energies could be in the same space.
I mean,
And
it's plausible that what you're stating occurs where there's two timelines that just so happen to simultaneously cross at the exact same moment that both of you decide to travel to each other's respective realities, and you would switch that way. But I don't think the very act of a singular, so to speak, one having time travel abilities and using it the way that they do, whether they walk through a portal or they use a machine or they're going a certain speed and they, whichever method that is required, that something appears out whenever they leave. It's not like a black hole, so to speak, where one proton falls in and a proton comes off due to Hawking radiation. I don't see it that way.
I think it's more like every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Like I said, I think you could go to a space where you didn't exist, and then there wouldn't be something to fill your space necessarily. But I don't think it's one person leaving a timeline that changes, that just pulls somebody else out of another timeline. I think these are all events that are tied to each other that have to occur because of just the fact that energy can't be destroyed. So I feel like it would just reincarnate in a different way or present itself in a different way.
So you're stating what I said originally, that yes, because of the insurmountable amount of realities, there will always be another reality where another individual similar to, because we already explained that it doesn't have to be exactly the same individual. It could be like their brother or a completely different individual that they swap whenever they time travel is the obvious thing that occurs because of the insurmountable number.
Yeah, the reason I used that example is because your parents could have, just by sheer odds, had a girl instead of a boy. And then you could meet that girl that represents you, but it's not the same energy. And you could meet that person and they could have the same parents as you. And it could be a brother or a sister that never existed in your timeline.
Yeah,
But that's not
exactly.
the same. But that's not the same as. But that's not the same as running into the same person. And I often use sliders as a reference for this.
Would that fall more along parallel universes if you're thinking like his parents had a kid that was a female representation of him instead of time travel? Like, wouldn't time travel be just going back in history, whereas the parallel universes would be things could be different in history than what?
That's where I get the confusion of whenever it comes down to, are we literally stating time is definitely linear and any changes to the past automatically affect the instant future, the instant present where you came from?
I would say yes to what Sai said. The reason I think that is because I think timelines are specific to the person that is in and experiencing that timeline. Everybody's timeline is specific to themselves. Like, it wouldn't be like if I changed my timeline, it wouldn't necessarily have an effect on Cursed. It wouldn't necessarily have an
Exactly.
effect
That's
on
fourth
Mudra.
dimensional thinking.
Yeah. So just because I altered my timeline doesn't mean I have to leave this dimension. I could go back in time in this same dimension, and then you'd have to deal with the grandfather paradox and other things on top of that. But I do think it's possible to go back in time. I do think all of these things are possible, but I do think that there's laws to the universe that, like I said, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. And I do think there's a reason that we feel the effects of things. That's why I think Mandela effects are really a thing. It's why I don't just discredit Mandela effects. That's why I pay attention to them, because I think we're seeing the result of something happening. I just don't know what it is yet. And I'm trying to do the best in my convoluted brain to decipher why these things are happening.
And I haven't fully 1000% settled on the fact of, are we switching realities, or are they changing the singular reality that we've always been part of because of the way the McMahon event is set up? Because of the obviousness of where we aren't in the galaxy the galaxy anymore. That's one thing. The sky isn't the same color as it was in the 90s. The sun isn't the same color as it was in the 90s. Stuff like that. Scientific knowledge. And I've noticed this. I don't know if other people have noticed this or will acknowledge this about different properties of physics changing, which that's why I'm more on the line of multiple realities instead of a singular reality. Because I've seen properties of physics change.
Right, but when you time travel, you only time travel in your reality. You're not going to a parallel universe or a parallel reality or a different reality. You're in the same reality, just different
going
time.
forward or backwards.
I hypothesize. Sorry, excuse me. I hypothesize on these things simply because I don't want to be 100% convinced that we're living in a simulation. I'm doing whatever I can to prove myself that we're not living in a simulation and all of this isn't created for us. And because that's my honest truth, is I honestly think everything's a simulation, and I question these things to try to prove to myself that there's actually a possibility that this isn't a simulation. I would like to have some rules that apply to whatever existence we live in.
I've taken that standpoint with a lot of the things that I'm pretty firm about. I try to actually disprove them more than I stand in them and let them just blindly lead me. And yes, this is true. I try to disprove them more, which is why I was talking about a moment ago about I have to fall on multiple realities, but I'd like it to be a singular reality. But my experience and understanding of visually seeing laws of physics change tell me that there is at least more than one reality.
I think there could be multiple realities, but I do think could be time travel too. I think the Mandela, because that's what made me want to do the stream, because I'm like, what if parts of the Mandela effect, maybe not all of them, but parts of them have to do with time travel? Like maybe something that showed up automatically or showed up out of nowhere was placed by, I guess you could say, an earlier or later version. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I would need these vitamins, so I placed them there before I needed them. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I also think I also think it's very possible, because I believe there's an infinite number of realities. Anything you can conjure up in your head. Me and Kirst had this conversation with my little brother. We were talking about the multiverse, and we were talking about how it's like a bowl full of marbles. Is it possible that there is a marble that is outside of the bowl full of marbles? And I was like, well, I guess if you can conjure it up.
The question was, is there a reality that doesn't have an opposite reality attached to it?
Meaning sitting inside of the bowl, as the analogy.
Or there's not an opposite reality or an alternate reality to a reality, which was the question.
But I think it would still be an opposing reality to the other ones, because it's placing itself outside of the others. So it's already using the others to represent where its placement is.
That it's kind of like the barber that shaves everybody but himself. Maybe you'd like to take this one, Mr. Waters. What does an obelisk do?
I don't know.
I have no idea either. I just put I don't know.
I would love to know.
I'm not
points up.
Okay, at least Mud gave us an answer. I'm not touching it.
What was that, Mud? What did you say?
It points up.
Well, there you go. Mystery solved.
Whoa!
Just in case you forgot where the sky is, just make sure you know where an
Yeah,
obelisk
right.
is. You remember where the
It
sky is.
reminds you. Probably worked like for the etheric electricity, the ether. I think it's connected.
They disprove that, and then suddenly it's like it is there, but it's not what we thought it was.
It's never what we think it is. Look at the pyramids. It's never what we think it is because we've been taught the wrong things. Hell, our teachers didn't even know any better.
And that's how come I make sure to reaffirm every time that it was called the goddamn particle, not the God particle. Don't misunderstand me. You go look it up. It's called the goddamn particle for a reason. But if you don't want to say that, you call it the Higgs boson. But if you're talking about it before it was discovered, you have to call it the goddamn particle because it was not the God particle.
So,
well,
Jacob,
the whole point is that whatever lesson we came here to learn, we have to learn it in the reality we're rooted in. You know, a plant can't be worried about what's going on in the other garden next door. He's got to worry about what's in the soil under his roots.
I wanted to ask Jacob, what parts of the Mandela effect do you believe?
I believe all of the parts of the Mandela effect are possible. But
Oh.
my only question is why are we seeing these things? Is it a rewriting of the code in the simulation? Is it time travel? Is it? I think there's a lot of things I could point to.
Nope, we're being
what we're looking
gaslit
at.
by the non-proletarians.
I think we are getting gaslit by some of the.
It's another
Mandela
form to
effects.
divide us all. It's another form to divide us all.
When it comes to things about like Berenstein Bears or this and that, or when it comes to like logos and shit like that, I don't actually put that much merit in that kind of stuff because I don't think it's important enough. I think it's good to know.
Why do we know the word cornucopia, Mr. Waters?
Why do we know the word cornucopia?
Because of the Fruit of the Loom logo.
No, cornucopias were a thing before Fruit of the Loom.
Yeah, I do agree with Jacob. Fruit of the Loom did not make the cornucopia.
I'm not saying they made it, but it's the reason why it became popularized and known from kids of none. What's that? It's a cornucopia. Oh, that's how we know. That's how it was in our vocabulary, is what I'm stating.
Yeah,
I think people had baskets with fruit on in them for long periods of time. I don't think that's a new thing.
No, but you understand what I'm stating. I'm not stating that it's a new thing. I'm stating a way to reintroduce something into the vocabulary or into the perception of individuals.
Okay, so why is it important that people use the word cornucopia instead of basket of fruit? What's the importance?
No, it's not the point that people use the word cornucopia. I'm stating that individuals question things. And everybody, most individuals have Fruit of the Loom. And back in the 90s, the only way that you find out or even hear the word cornucopia most of the times would be like, what's this on the label? And you ask your parents and they say that's a cornucopia. And that's how you would learn the word in your vocabulary is what I'm stating.
The first time I think I was introduced to a cornucopia on a real scale is when I was in kindergarten. I think it was kindergarten or like a really young grade school. And they used to make me put my hand on a piece of paper and you trace your hand and that would be the turkey. And then you would have to draw a cornucopia next to it and had nothing to do with Fruit of the Loom. Usually it's always tied into Native Americans and Thanksgiving. That's usually like the idea of cornucopias, I guess.
Okay, we wasted 25 minutes. What's this video you want to show us, Si? I'm kind of interested.
Well, don't just shut Jacob off like that.
I mean, I brought up the subject of the cornucopia. So where were we before I brought up cornucopia? If y'all want to go back to that point.
Basically, the whole reason why I understand, Jacob, the labels, they're not real big. Like, I'm not real big on them. And the logos, I'm not real big on either. But the mysterious things that do happen in this reality, it's kind of weird, and it's very, very, very strange. Things appearing, disappearing, reappearing as something else. It's a little. And Kit Kat did have a dash in the middle. I don't care what the hell anybody says. I ate that thing as a kid a lot. It had the damn dash in the middle. But the so I was just curious because I know you're not huge into the Mandela effect. Just what?
So I think it's important to note all of these things. I think putting merit in some are more valuable than putting merit in others. But I do think it's good to know that Kit Kat used to have a dash, or Berenstain Bears used to be spelled this way, or whatever it happens to be. My thing is, I think more merit should be put into the ones that you can actually go, oh, okay, this one really shook me to the core. Nothing about Berenstain Bears or there being a dash in Kit Kat is going to change my life in any way, shape, or form, to the best of my knowledge. But
that's what I mean. Whenever
if something personal happened to me, where like I had an object switched in my fridge, that would be more of a personal connection. I would know why somebody else would relate to that more than myself, and I would also
like
understand
the cheese.
exactly and why somebody like myself would have no connection with that because it's not related to me, and it's hard for an outsider to picture. Just like when I see people hung up on Berenstain Bears, I go, why? Like it's not that important to me, but I can see why a specific event could be important to somebody else. I don't diminish diminish the idea of that, but I just do think like I think it should be noted regardless. Is like you do need to notice the changes, but it's just like, okay, how are they trying to get me to pay attention to this? Why am I seeing this in the first place? Do they want me to focus on this? Who are they?
Yeah.
Who are they? Who are these people? Who are they? I've asked that question.
That's the rock that made all the rings in the pond. Who are
but I
they?
have officially named they. I have officially named them. Is everybody ready? They're called they're called non-proletarians because we're called proletarians. They're called non-proletarians.
Is that like NPC without the C?
No.
They're just NPs.
Proletarians is the working class and the underclassmen.
I know. I'm being sarcastic.
You're always funny.
I was gonna say, by the way, if I get disconnected, that's because a tornado just hit my house.
Oh, you're
I don't know if you guys can hear. I don't know if you guys can hear all the sirens going on right now.
I heard something. But, are you okay?
I'm fine. Hi.
I mean, if we see your roof go, it'll be a first.
Yeah, if I get disconnected, it's not because of time travel. It's probably a tornado. Just to, but there will be some.
Well, if you Dorothy out this bitch.
Jacob just decided to go forward a few years and meet us there.
It's the tornadoes. That's what it is.
Yeah. Tell Dorothy we're still wondering where Toto's at.
I was gonna say, is it bad in my mind that I want to run towards it to find Oz, or is that just like?
Yeah, right.
I feel like there's some motivation there. I would love to go to Munchkin Land.
Don't get stuck in the field of poppies.
Oh, that would be a good time.
Yeah.
Didn't they all pass out in the field of poppies, though?
Yeah, but Jacob would be partying.
Yeah, people like him have the tolerance to not die as soon as you inhale.
He just goes storming right through it with a big grin on his face.
Maybe.
Yeah, then you get jealous, man.
What?
You'd be like, why didn't you take me with you? You'd be like, why didn't you take me with you? All right, Kirst, what are you sharing?
Yeah. Stop changing the damn name of the restaurant, Earl. See, now I want to say that this was Carl. Like, damn it, Carl, stop changing reality. I thought it was that, but yeah. Who else has seen all three, if not a different one for Chick-fil-A?
I don't remember what they were, so I can't say.
I have no idea because I never really went to one.
I didn't either. We have one near the house, but I never paid attention.
You have to actually consume the product. I'm talking about, like, was it close enough to, like, notice, like, driving down the street? Oh, that's the gas station. Oh, that's the Shell station.
No, but if you patronize the business, you tend to remember how it's spelled. It's like you were saying earlier about, cornucopia. You see it written on the bag, you see it written on the cup, you see it written on the napkins. It sticks. But if you don't patronize it and you're not interested, then it's not going to stick.
Chick-fil-A. That's what I remember.
Well, it was always Chick-fil-A for me, but I don't know how it was spelled. We had a friend that had one with the franchises.
CHICFIL and then like ET or something.
The last one looks so strange to me compared to the other two. The first two,
right,
visibly
but
possible.
I've seen all
the last
three.
one, the last one seems a little more out there.
But I have seen all three. It's like, wow.
I haven't. I don't remember. I probably have, but maybe I don't remember.
I've eaten at Chick-fil-A one time in my life. Oh, I went to the mall and we went shopping.
All right, I'll throw it away now.
Chick-fil-A. There was a Chick-fil-A next to us, and we decided to stop there. And then whoever was working there that day, this is blonde-headed girl, she was like, "Hey, you guys have never had Chick-fil-A before? I will buy you guys 2 free meals." And me and Jody got to eat there for free, and it was good. It's delicious.
Nice.
That's all I have to say about Chick-fil-A, though. I've never eaten there again. And,
I've heard they're good. That's all I can say. I've heard they're good.
I like chicken.
All right, so I have a video. Again, I don't know if it's going to play or not, but it's about this guy who time travels, I guess you could say, into the future. So let me try, bring it up, and see if it'll play.
Trying to predict the future is a discouraging and hazardous occupation because of stools.
Time travel remains a riddle that many try to solve either from theories or serious tales that sometimes become legends. Yet it has failed to appeal to the logic of extremely critical people. But several happenings the ability of time travel, some humans telling us the story. If Sergei's story were true, could all the legends of time travel be equally true? And does this finally solve the riddle behind time travel? Join us as we look into one of the mysterious tales that affirm the reality of time travel.
Imagine being able to build anything. Just thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation
platform. You want to
platform.
send that to me and it won't have ads at all?
Sergei Ponomarenko, mysterious.
What'd you say, Cursed?
Do you want to send that to me and it won't have ads at all?
Yeah, I can do that. Hold on a second.
Let's all go
I'll
to
put
the
it.
lobby. Let's all go to the lobby.
Now you're being really funny, Mud.
Oh my gosh. Jody and my daughter just got locked in the school.
Oh no. Oh,
They're on
tell her I
lockdown.
said hi.
They're on lockdown because of the sirens.
Oh no.
Yeah, she's like, I'm
Oh,
trapped
please
in
let
this
them be
hellhole.
safe. Are they safe?
Oh yeah, no. Our area never gets hit by tornadoes. It's just
And schools are probably very safe the way they build them.
Yeah, and it's a brand new school. The only reason we don't ever get hit by tornadoes is all of the surrounding towns are higher up in elevation than us. So usually anything coming towards us actually goes up into the air and goes over our town.
You're in a basin?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Cursed, it's in the private chat, by the way.
So I already know the story that you're getting ready to show. It's a really good one. by the way.
I think it was a good one too. And I saw it. I was like, wow, I got to show this. This is pretty cool. And Kirst, did you get it? Okay, Mud Rabbit, start singing again. Let's go to the.
I had to go find it.
Okay.
I was just looking it up at the same time, and I was like, I don't have it. Okay, because otherwise I could share it too.
Somebody let me know when y'all ready.
Ready?
Ready.
Let me get this off there first, so it doesn't slow your StreamYard down. There we go. Kirst, not at 4 times speed, okay?
Trying to predict the future is a discouraging and hazardous occupation because the prophet invariably falls between 2 stools.
Time travel remains a riddle that many try to solve either through some theories or mysterious tales that sometimes become legends. Yet it has failed to appeal to the logic of extremely critical people. But several happenings have somehow hinted at the possibility of time travel, with some humans telling us that they themselves are time travelers. Arguably, the story of Sergei Ponomarenko seems to be the most convincing. He appeared in 2006, bearing a lot of evidence that just a moment ago he was in the year 1958. If Sergei's story were true, could all the legends of time travel be equally true? And does this finally solve the riddle behind time travel? Join us as we look into one of the mysterious tales that affirm the reality of time travel.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base
I
44,
thought you said no
a
commercials.
complete AI creation.
No ads, he says.
Yeah, no ads. Not so much.
You promised.
Oh, leave Kirst go. Oh, it's okay, Kirst.
So let me ask, is this the gentleman that appeared in the future and like walked out into a street, and then they found his documentation on him, and then they ended up meeting his wife later, and she said that her husband went missing?
This is the
Is this
one.
that one? Okay,
Yes.
I just want to make sure. I'm not going to give away too much. I didn't know if you guys would get it.
No spoilers.
Okay. I'm not.
Not too many spoilers.
That was very subtle, I promise. It's actually
Yeah.
a really good story.
All right, you ready, Kirst?
Yeah, this is supposed to be the right tab.
Okay.
He had his finger on the wrong button the whole time.
Sergei Ponomarenko mysteriously appears in 2006. On April 23, 2006, something truly strange happened on a busy street in Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine. A man appeared out of nowhere, dressed in an outdated Soviet military uniform and clutching an old camera, instantly drawing attention. His attire was antiquated and particularly provocative. It was just like someone wearing a Confederate uniform at a civil rights rally, an act guaranteed to spark strong reactions. Given the historical and ongoing tensions between Ukraine and Russia, his presence was especially controversial. People began to eye him with a mix of curiosity and suspicion, which only seemed to increase his nervousness, making his behavior more erratic and unpredictable. A nearby police patrol noticed the commotion and decided to approach the man. When they asked him a few questions, he appeared disoriented and claimed to be lost, completely unaware of his current location. The officers then requested a means of identification, and what he handed over left them astonished. It was an ID issued by the Soviet Union, a country that had dissolved over a decade earlier. Ukraine had been an independent nation since 1991, and such IDs had long been obsolete. Adding to the intrigue, the man looked to be in his 20s, a total opposite of what we would have expected given the information on his ID. This stark contrast between his youthful appearance and the age implied by his Soviet ID, issued in a state that had ceased to exist, deepened the mystery surrounding him. If he were elderly, it might have been less surprising, but his apparent youth adds another puzzling layer to the bizarre encounter that left the police and onlookers baffled. His ID revealed that he was born in 1932, and the photo on it matched his face perfectly. The document was genuine, complete with the official Soviet government seal, and listed his name as Sergei Ponomarenko, with his birthplace recorded as Kyiv. Again, This left the police completely puzzled. According to this ID, the man should have been 74 years old, yet he looked like he was in his 20s or early 30s. It was even more alarming.
So could you imagine that? Some guy just shows up out of nowhere, definitely looks not dressed in today's dress, and has ID from way back when.
That would be wild.
I swear, if one of these stories are about Tartaria.
And not about Tartaria. I promise, Curse, not about Tartaria.
Yeah, there's no mud floods in this story.
No, there's no mud floods in this story.
Oh.
Mud wanted mud floods.
I want mud.
I just think it's like really bizarre if you find somebody that's like, oh, dressed all and backdated, but still look young, and then you find their
and all their papers say that they're from that time.
Yeah,
that's like that story, the man from Torrid.
Yeah, the man from Torrid. It's crazy how all these places actually happen to be right around the Ukraine, and that's where or the imaginary country of Torrid. Like if the Torrid one is real, he would have came from a parallel reality similar to our own, where Torrid actually existed. Ooh, Valiant Thor is a good one.
Oh yeah,
I just saw that in the chat.
So I'm new to the whole time travel thing. I just watched the movie Curse told me to watch, and I thought about the Mandela effect with it. But does a lot of this stuff occur around the Ukraine-Russia proximity?
Mm-hmm.
There's a few. I would say some notable ones. But there's some United States ones. I would say the biggest one in the United States would be maybe like Madman Markham or Mike Madman Markham. I don't know if you've ever heard of this guy. He basically created a Jacob's ladder in his garage and started throwing like screws and other things into it, and then they'd end up several like meters away from him, but he'd eventually find them, and eventually he made one big enough. Well, he had to steal some things from the local power plant, and then happened to shut down all the power in his neighborhood because.
And this is the guy I wanted you to bring up, because I've been seeing a lot of videos about him that he technically still does exist, but whenever he appears, it's like people forget that he existed. Is the story of the new videos coming out about this guy that you're talking about?
Which is interesting when you think about the Mandela effect, because it's just like, oh, okay, if you actually did everything and actually did time travel, what if the Mandela effects were there just to gaslight you so that nobody ever believed your story?
You know, I thought about that.
Yeah.
Why do you think I was talking earlier about the Mandela effect is for the non-proletarians to gaslight us, to divide us, more another tool?
But it still doesn't make sense how something in my house changed. Like something that no one else had access to changed. Unless it's a parallel universe or time travel type thing. I'm not big into the whole simulator thing, but
I chalk it up the same thing as a number changing on a receipt. That's how come. Yeah, it's part of the same area because it involves the same thing. Like, you damn well know that this was this way and now it's this way.
Yeah, I just don't like that's the one thing. Like, I could say, okay, if the government, the non-proletarians, as Kirst would say, or the government or anything else is doing it, how did it change in something that I have right in front of me? And that's a little, you can kind of knock the whole government's doing it type thing out. Doesn't mean they're not cashing in on it. It doesn't mean that they're not, adding to it, like with the new Mandela effects that show up. They could be government, but the actual supernatural event that takes place and the stuff in my home changes, like the Bible or cheese in the fridge or something, or vitamins that come out of nowhere, then yeah, it's kind of like it's something deeper. It's not just the government.
I think it could be deeper, and I think there could be a correlation. You ended up finding the person who you think got said cheese or ketchup, whatever, from their fridge, and it got swapped with yours, correct? Maybe it
Cheese.
was, but
Yeah, it was
maybe
cheese.
it was maybe it was a timeline change from that person, and it just affected you. That's what I mean by displacement. Like somebody could do something, and the energy would have to go somewhere. It would have to be displaced somewhere else. Isn't it possible that the other person that you think the cheese came from, what if they did something and that's what changed events for you? Because then maybe you didn't do something directly and you're like, oh, I don't understand why this would happen to me. But if there's two parts to this, like, it got sent from somewhere else and you didn't order that, it got switched between the two. I feel like it's a cause and effect thing.
Yeah, if you can do it, the other counterpart can do it too.
Exactly.
Okay,
It
so
could
you
be
kind of
just
like,
as much. It could be just as much their responsibility why it happened as it could be yours.
Right. I get it.
I understand what you're saying. Now I kind of get where you're coming from on it, where it's like it's happening to them, but it's affecting me. Collateral damage, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, I mean, it's just trying to figure out the source is what would give you the headache about it. And it's the same thing with the Mandela effect. You don't know why we're seeing these things, but regardless, you're still seeing them and they should still be noted. But the question is, why is this happening? Maybe it's not because of something that directly happened with you. Maybe it's something else that affected you vicariously through that other person somehow.
Okay.
I mean, it's not an answer. It's a roundabout answer of just because you're not responsible for it doesn't mean it's still not tied to you.
Well, it's a theory, right?
It makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes ultimate sense because we tend to think all flat, that it's just us going out, but we don't think about something else sending it and it coming in.
Like doesn't the butterfly effect also explain this a little bit?
Exactly.
Yeah, I never actually thought of the butterfly effect correlating with the Mandela effect.
Mm-hmm.
You're the first one I've ever heard mention
it. But it has to whenever you think of time travel. Say you're to
Mm-hmm.
go back in time and you step on a bug. That butterfly effect could change the whole outcome of the future by altering timelines or maybe taking out a species or just the slightest mistakes. Yeah, just the slightest mistakes of stepping on something in the past could alter the future. And
his wife and children will never see him again.
Oh my God.
or Mud Rabbit, that was meant to happen because this is probably more cursed thing.
He probably beats his wife and it was a good thing.
Well, no, I wouldn't go that far. He was really bugging her.
He's feeling good tonight.
But no, I think it's more of the idea, like maybe it was like a predetermined thing. Maybe this person was supposed to go back in time and step on this bug for the reality that we now think of as what we have now. Maybe all of those events had to occur in that simultaneous order.
Damn, it gets so complicated.
Oh yeah, time travel is so complicated.
It is.
It's all hypothetical.
It's so multidimensional.
Yes, that as well.
And I think that's what basically the Mandela effect is too. I think there's so much to it. There's the personal.
I think everything's connected. I think absolutely everything that we know and don't know is connected one way or the other. And the things that we think are so far removed from each other really aren't.
Birdcage, I kind of agree with that more than anything. When Mud Rabbit was talking about the flower in the garden doesn't worry about the garden next to them, I think they totally do. I think all of
these
things
communicate.
Oh yeah, and I think all of these things are reliant on each other. And I think we're supposed to be on this plane of existence, whatever we want to call it, until we get things right. You could be reincarnated as a snail. I think if there is such thing as a higher power, I think whatever we are as a species are meant to give experience to said higher power. And that's why I believe in reincarnation. We're meant to redo things until we get it right, or have an overall like understanding of what this existence is before we go to whatever ascension or higher plane of existence or heaven or whatever you want to call it in, your beliefs. But I think we have to get it right. I don't think it's just done over one lifetime. I do believe in past lives. I do believe in a lot of things where if you get things wrong, you still get another chance. But I almost think of like what we call Earth is almost like a purgatory, not necessarily like a positive.
So you're into the prison planet theory where we leave and we get sent back and we get recycled into here until we get either A, enough experience, or B, learn the thing because of all the experience of multiple lifetimes instead of a singular lifetime.
More like a schoolhouse.
And then I also believe that there's positive and negative energies around us when we're talking about like lower entities and higher entities. We're talking about their vibrations and what they're doing. And I think lower energies can drag you down more and hold you in a darker place where you are making more irrational decisions. And then other things can actually lead you towards a plane of enlightenment or an understanding of how things work.
Yeah.
And I honestly think when people get to a point of ascension, and I kind of stole this from the idea in Stargate, I think people eventually, it leads me to the Plato's cave dilemma. I think when people actually get to ascension, what they want to do is they would even give up the knowledge of how they got to that point just to go back and help other people get to that point.
Yeah. Some people say, I think some souls do that.
But not to,
when you said go back into the past, again, we're thinking in our 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional form. We have past lives, yes, but we also have future lives that are alive right now and living. We just haven't moved into that yet.
The reason why I'm really against the school idea and more leaning on the prison idea is because we're kind of inside of a void.
No, I don't think so. I think
outside of the Triangulum Galaxy and the Andromeda Galaxy, there's a massive distance between us and the next galaxies or set of galaxies.
I think we're sent here. I mean, the whole point of being human is the soul. That's the whole point of being human, is considering the soul. Doesn't matter what we do as a human, doesn't matter what we think as a human or how we develop. It has everything to do with growing our soul. And we have to be sent to such a place to learn the specific lessons that we have to learn. I mean, and you can look around you and see there's a lot of NPCs out there that just aren't learning the lessons because they don't have the capacity to do it. They're still in kindergarten. And not everybody is on the same level.
They're never learning anything from the wipe every reincarnation.
Huh?
They're never learning anything from the wipe every reincarnation.
No. They're NPCs. They're not in the cycle yet. They're placeholders for souls that are going to come in the future.
Tell me what you think about the idea of NPCs just being crazy people, in the sense that they repeat the same action and expect a different result. Like going through life mode, on cruise control and not actually having an effect on others or even changing your own outcome.
Yeah,
I assume you're doomed to repeat it.
But you have to remember that the people who are heavily addicted to alcohol and drugs are more than likely a fully souled individual who's in pain. Pain and confusion, one or the other or both. NPCs are following a program. When I was learning about them, we called them organic portals, and you've heard me mention that before. They follow a specific program, and that's where the repetition comes in. It's the guy that goes to work from 9 to 5 for 65 years until he retires. It's the person who drives the bus for 52 years until he retires.
Well, here's the stupid question, Mud Rabbit. Whenever there wasn't that many humans on the planet, was there the same ratio of NPCs, or has technology created these NPCs
No,
because of these 9 to 5s?
they're not technologically created. It's my understanding that you'll have a population of people who are about to awaken. This is when the population of NPCs come in. They've always been with us. We've all been organic portals at one point too. It's part of the growth process. It's part of the schoolhouse process. You got to start in kindergarten and work your way up. There's lessons for them to learn as NPCs. They're more simple lessons that somebody who's already fully sold individual would find quite boring and probably commit suicide because their life is a living hell. You know, there are some people that are just happy in their little routine. And they're not really any different from you and me, except they're not growing.
And I don't think it's only based around the human population. I think it's based about the population on the planet. Like I said, I think you could be reincarnated as a snail or an ant. And I think it's very possible that an ant or something that you would think doesn't have an actual personality gets plopped into a human body. That could end up being an NPC. I don't think it's a choice. I don't think it's actually a choice.
Well, the ants, I don't agree with that, because ants
but what if an NPC was just something that hadn't made the decision to grow yet?
No,
like,
okay.
and they're doomed to repeat it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Eventually they get put in a human body and they're like, I'm just going to do what all the other humans are doing.
You
like
come
I've
up
done my whole life.
You come up through the soul pools. You come up through the archetypes. You belong to an archetype until you don't. You belong in a soul pool until you don't fit anymore, and then you move up one. And what happens is, and all the while that you're in those soul pools, you belong to an archetype because you're not fully souled yet as a human being. Once you become a human being, you're not immediately fully souled. You have your first 3 energy centers activated so that something can seep and in and work through you, because NPCs are not bad people. You know, they're just at that stage of development that they are. And
I agree, but I think ant is interchangeable for bird that flies with a flock because the flock's going that way.
Well, an ant is
is a bird. Put it this way: is a bird.
Yeah, I was understanding arachnid, ant, reptile, bird, what have you.
Anything that acts as a colonial species where they just follow everybody else in their tribe and they just do what everybody else is doing.
You mean the hive mind?
Exactly. Isn't that by definition what an NPC is?
No.
If they're not working together, if they're just going off of base programming.
No, that's what I was about to explain. Ants and insects belong to one particular archetype. They can't be human because they don't have the knowledge to be human. They can't even fit in that soul pool. You have to come up through the soul pool. You have first density, which is, rocks and plants. You have second density, which is insects and animals. And then you have third density, which is the human population. And as the growth happens throughout the coming up through the densities, once you become, and this is all happening within third density, once that happens, that they don't fit back into a particular archetype or a soul pool, then they graduate to the next one. And there's different graduations within the densities. So it's not just one and you're done. Once you make it into the human realm, you're no longer in a soul pool. You become individuated. You're not governed by an archetype. You're governed by God. So now you have to learn about love. You have to learn about sharing. You have to learn about just being good to other people. And some NPCs are very good at that.
Why can't we just have a unity consciousness? Why can't we just all get back together and just
because you have
I'm agreeing with you, but not disagreeing at the same time.
That's the second part of my explanation. You have failed NPCs. Just like you fail a grade, You have NPCs that fail as humans and they become sociopaths and psychopaths. They'll never be fully sold.
I'm crazy.
They'll only run on the lower 3 energy centers. They'll never be fully sold because they can't develop their heart center.
I think depending on how you live your life as a human, you can also be reincarnated into we would consider a lesser life form. And I think when you look at animals, insects, anything like that, you look at systems that have a hierarchy. Lobsters are a good comparison. Ants don't really have that much. They have like one hierarchy. They have the queen, and everybody else is kind of workers.
Like bees.
In the same with bees. They have the hive mind, and I think humans do have the capability of tapping into a hive mind. I think that's what the Akashic records actually are. But I think there's something about our spiritual awakening that has been dampened in our reality.
Well, not only do you have people who are on an evolutionary journey, moving up through the densities and up through the types of life, you have beings that are on a de-evolutionary scale. So add to your psychopaths, your sociopaths, and your NPCs who fail, you've got beings that came from someplace else that this is the only place where they can devolve. And they're going downward while humans are going upward, and they have to do it in a human body.
I just think the lifespan of, let's say, a psychopath, a killer, a murderer, whatever you want to call them, it's very short-lived when you're thinking of the time scale of the Earth. And I don't just think they keep reincarnating into the next psycho that came up. I do think that there's other chances, and they get a different roll of the dice every time.
Yeah, and you also have spirit attachments and things that can follow you through incarnations. So there's all kinds of things you have to consider. It's just not one thing.
I see it more as like I don't see quite like Mud Rabbit does. I see there's a hierarchy of.
He got hit by a tornado.
Is he okay? Well, he didn't get hit. It's the Wi-Fi.
All right, let's see if he comes back. But the hierarchy I know is that there's young souls, there are old souls, and then there's souls in the middle.
Yep, that's how I understand it.
The young souls, they're a little more immature. They're a little more harder headed to learn. They don't want to learn. And they go through lessons and mature to when the next round comes up, so to speak. But
I failed 4th density and I got thrown back here, is the way Mud Rabbit would say it.
No, you're human 0. We know it.
I failed 4th density.
You try to hide it, but we know you're human.
No, I don't. I control a human. I control a human. I am inside of this meat suit. I failed 4th density and I got thrown back here. Now I got to deal with this again.
I see it like, and as far as the collective consciousness, Kirsta, when we were talking the other day, and you said maybe we were in it when we were in Sagittarius. I'm kind of thinking that is actually correct. I think we left.
Like we were in the collective consciousness while we were in Sagittarius, and this is the duality consciousness. Now, this is where I'm stating I came from the mirrorverse of Sagittarius, which means I am a duality. But I'm from the Sagittarius version of duality. That's where my spirit comes from. But my body is from the duality of Orion, which is where we're stuck.
Yeah. So I'm the same way. We were in the collective consciousness on Sagittarius. We're in the duality of consciousness now. And I remember, I know the old way and I know the way now, and the way now is not fun. I don't like it. But
no, that's how come I stated before that we need to get back to a unity consciousness, and that is not the right button. This is the correct button, and this is what that is. Like I made a picture. It's because what happens is the collective conscious is one third of this image right here, and I think I might have that one. I'm not sure. But the duality consciousness, no, I don't have a singular one. The duality consciousness is two of these overlays put together. And what some understand is spirit could do whatever it wants in the beginning, so it decided to cut it off from exactly what Mud Rabbit said. Love, which created the duality consciousness. And all I'm trying to do is reunite consciousness from having its split personality disorder that it had before the beginning of creation, to recreate the unity consciousness. Well, at least this is what I'm calling it. I don't know what I want it to be called before existence, but apparently we have to endure existence in order to be satisfied with non-existence again.
It was my understanding from channeled information that the souls that decide to come here to go through this process are looked upon as very brave and courageous, and they're jealous. And that's all I needed to know. I mean, if we came here, I think a lot of the negative stuff is stuff that we're kind of propagandized. But through the channeled information, it was our understanding that those that view us, other souls coming here that have never been here, are very jealous of our courage. Not everybody wants to come here. Not everybody is skilled enough to come here as a human.
Who wants to come
no,
here?
I don't buy into the punishment angle or the negative angle. I don't buy into that. I buy into the learning and adventure angle. Because if you really look at it in the right light, it is a learning process here. Your entire life, you never stop learning, and it is an adventure. It's your choice how to view it.
True.
Okay, who wants me to press play or not yet?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hit it.
When an officer casually asked Sergei for the current date, he confidently replied that it was April 23rd, 1958. At this point, the police decided that Sergei might need a psychiatric evaluation. Despite his firm claims of being sane, his constant references to the Soviet Union only deepened their doubts. They gave him a choice: go to jail or to a psychiatric hospital. Sergei chose the second option, and they took him to a mental health facility for further evaluation. When Sergei arrived at the mental hospital, he was introduced to Dr. Paul Krakow, a psychologist. After a brief discussion with the police, Dr. Kov led Sergei to his office. The room was modest, but filled with books, certificates, and a few comforting plants. As Sergei stepped inside, he appeared captivated by his surroundings, examining everything with intense curiosity, as if he were a child seeing a new world for the first time. The way his eyes darted from the diplomas on the wall to the ticking clock on the shelf suggested that he found even the simplest objects utterly fascinating. During their conversation, Sergei revealed that he was born on June 16, 1932, and insisted that he was only 25 years old. He told the psychologist that his love for photography was the reason he carried the camera. It was as if he were holding onto a piece of his past, like a vintage vinyl record collector clutching a rare find. Dr. Krakow, sensing the depth of Sergei's conviction, decided to delve deeper into his narrative. He asked Sergei how he managed to travel to the future, genuinely curious about the story behind this extraordinary claim. Sergei leaned in, his eyes wide with sincerity, and described the experience in vivid detail. He spoke of a bright day in Kiev, where he had decided to wander the city with his trusty camera, much like a painter might explore the countryside with a canvas and brushes. As he stepped outside, he noticed a strange bell-shaped object hovering in the sky. It moved in a way that defied conventional explanation, captivating his photographer's eye. Instinctively, he aimed his camera and took a shot. The moment I clicked, Sergei recounted, I found myself standing on the unfamiliar streets of Kyiv. I hadn't moved or done anything else, just took my hands off the camera, and suddenly, I was here. Dr. Krakow listened intently, intrigued by Sergei's tale. To him, it was as if he were listening to someone recount a fantastical dream or the plot of a science fiction novel. The psychologist couldn't help but draw parallels to classic stories of time travel and mysterious disappearances, reminiscent of H.G. Wells's The Time Machine or an episode of The Twilight Zone. The situation was bizarre and perplexing, leaving Dr. Krakow with more questions than answers. Fascinated by Sergei's story, Dr. Krakow closely inspected his camera and the photographs it held.
So
that's all you need to do. You just need to tap me and be like, "Hey, pause it."
I'm nicer than that, thank you. But yeah, so aliens maybe send them in time. I don't know. Like this suspicious object. What if that is true? What if everyone that was alien abducted got sent to a different time?
Flight of the Navigator.
Explain.
Spoiler alert. Flight of the Navigator is about a spacecraft that comes from outer space that doesn't break the law of the laws of relativity, because whenever it travels, time does pass in proper intervals, which basically means that time will be moving faster for everything around it except for the spacecraft. And I don't remember, but it was a amount of time that the boy was on the spacecraft, and then it was because of the size, and I think because the boy was conscious instead of animal conscious, like second versus third density, that there might be some issues traveling back to the time that the spacecraft had picked them up, because the spacecraft had brought life forms all the way back to the spacecraft's homeworld, which took time to travel, if all this is making sense together. So therefore, in order to put the items that the spacecraft took back in the proper time, it needed to travel back in time in order to do that. But like I just reiterated, it didn't travel back in time to drop off the boy, so there was an incident, but eventually the spacecraft decided to travel back to the exact time the boy was supposed to be dropped off. So traveling through space, you would also probably theoretically have to have some way to go backwards in time. So you get what I'm trying to say? Because it'll be the only way to transverse vast amount of space. You also have to have the ability to reverse time, because if you're going near light speed, things around you are ticking faster than what you are on the spacecraft. That's a law of relativity, is what I'm trying to explain here.
Yeah, so if like you don't have something to put you back to where you came from, then you're kind of screwed in that timeline. So
yeah, your internal clock is ticking slower than everything else around you the faster you begin to move through space.
But my thought was, if because he said he saw this bell-shaped object flying different directions, which we can equate with a UFO, right? So if like people who
basically what I just explained is that the UFO picked them up like in Flight of the Navigator, but whenever it originally dropped them off, it dropped them off forward in time because, quote, he was too big to travel back in time through the technology they had, so he dropped them off in the same place but not the same time, is what I'm trying to explain here, is what happened in this story.
I'm kind of thinking a little differently. I'm kind of thinking like they took them, dropped them off in the future, and then could pick them up and bring them back. That's what I'm thinking. With people that were abducted and then they had that lapse of time, whether it be 3 days, 1 day, half a day, a couple hours, whatever, where they take into a different time but they didn't realize it when they came back. Like, was their memory wiped clean? Just a thought. You can go ahead and press play.
Okay.
The device was an old Yashima Flex, using a type of film that had been out of production since the 1970s. It was as if someone today was using a typewriter to draft a modern-day email, an odd mix of outdated tools in a contemporary context. Acknowledging his limitations, Dr. Krakow sought the expertise of Vadim Poyser, a seasoned photographer, to dig deeper into the mystery. Upon examining the camera, Vadim was astounded to see it documenting every detail of their interaction. He identified the camera as one of the first 120 dual-lens reflex models produced by Yashica in 1953 and noted the film, dating back to 1956, was still in excellent condition. It was just like finding a classic car on the road, not only well-preserved but also fully functional, running smoothly despite its age. Initially, Vadim presumed Sergei was a collector of vintage photography gear. However, the camera's blend of old and new elements, coupled with the pristine state of the film, baffled everyone involved. Dr. Krakow then asked Vadim to develop the photos to verify if the UFO Sergei described had been captured. The results were nothing short of astonishing. Matter-of-factly, developing the photograph was no easy task, given that it had originally been captured in 1956. The process required Vadim to invest a significant amount of time and expertise, as if trying to restore an ancient painting to its original glory. Once the image was finally developed, the result was astounding, a clear depiction of the bell-shaped UFO that Sergei had described. When Dr. Paul asked Sergei about the UFO and the photograph, Sergei confidently responded, "Now you are convinced I'm telling the truth. I still do not understand what this object is or how such a thing happened when I took the picture and ended up in this year." Among the various photos developed from the film, some showed the streets of Kiev as they appeared in the 1950s, while one striking image featured Sergei himself standing outside a building in 1956. Despite the film not undergoing any special preservation methods over the decades, it remarkably yielded exceptionally clear photos, much like discovering a vintage book in pristine condition after years of being hidden away. There were still numerous photos left to develop, and this required considerable time and effort. To prevent Sergei from escaping, the authorities placed him in a secure room under constant surveillance, with security cameras installed throughout the facility. Later that day, after all the photographs had been developed, they went to question Sergei. To their shock, he had completely disappeared. The police reviewed the security footage for any clues. The recordings confirmed that Sergei had entered the room, but there was no footage showing him leaving. Initially, they assumed he had somehow slipped out unnoticed, so they checked all the nearby camera feeds. Astonishingly, there was no trace of Sergei anywhere, leading to the baffling conclusion that he had truly vanished without a trace. This mystery of Sergei's disappearance from such a heavily monitored facility made Dr. Paul, the psychiatrist, suggest examining the photos for clues about Sergei's whereabouts. This idea seemed logical, so they meticulously scrutinized all the pictures, much like detectives piecing together fragments of a complex puzzle. They were about to give up when they noticed an image of Sergei standing next to a woman. It was a breakthrough that sparked new hope. Dr. Paul requested the local police to assist with further investigation. The police started by checking household registration records, much like historians unearthing old documents, and they soon found a file on a man named Sergei, who had mysteriously disappeared in 1960. They also identified the woman in the photograph as Sergei's wife, Valentina Kurik, who was now 74 years old. The police quickly located her for questioning, treating her as a crucial witness in a
So that's really weird because they found his wife, you know what I mean?
Yeah, this story, you wanted it, right?
Yeah.
Because we're talking about him suddenly disappearing. We have to technically be on the timeline where he did disappear, which goes into the sorry, Jacob's not here. Oh, what happened to Mud now?
Mud said good night to everybody. She's really, really tired and she was falling asleep. So she did text me. She said, "Good night, everyone." I thought she would wait till I paused the video, but she wasn't able to. She's really tired.
But this is what I was putting down as debunking Mr. Waters' idea of something having to appear whenever something vanishes. It's like the fact is that Homeboy did go away, and this is the timeline where Homeboy vanished in. And whatever timeline he's in, I'm quite sure he figured out how to do what he needed to do. But what did you want to say?
No, I was just saying it's really weird because they found his wife. They actually found his wife. The wife that was in the photos.
Mr. Waters popped back in to say good night and thank you.
Oh, okay, Jacob. Good night. You're welcome. Come again. We could talk more pepper jack cheese. I want to know if your pepper jack cheese disappears.
You told everybody to cut off their thumbs and give them to you.
Thumbs up. Please like, share, subscribe, ring the bell. And I'm the queen of pop-ups. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I have 106 subscribers. Please, I'd like to grow it a little more. If you could. And you like, we talk about all different stuff, all supernatural stuff, Mandela effects, everything under the sun, including astrology, which will probably be my next stream. Go ahead, Kirst, you can play a video.
The police quickly located her for questioning, treating her as a crucial witness in a decades-old mystery. When they met with Valentina, she brought out a photo album and showed them a picture of her and Sergei from 1958, the same image found in Sergei's camera when he reappeared in 2006. This revelation was similar to finding a missing piece that perfectly fits into a jigsaw puzzle. Dr. Paul then showed Valentina the photo and recounted the strange events. She was equally surprised to see the picture and hear the story, her reaction mirroring that of someone encountering a long-lost relic with a fascinating history. Valentina confirmed that everything Sergei had claimed was true. She told the police that Sergei had disappeared for several days in April 1958, leaving her worried and nearly contacting the authorities. Suddenly, Sergei reappeared without explanation, much like a character re-emerging in a novel after a mysterious absence. Although relieved to have him back, Valentina noticed that he behaved oddly, displaying significant anxiety and refusing to discuss his absence. This peculiar behavior continued for 2 years until his final disappearance in 1960, creating a narrative that resembled the unresolved tension in a suspenseful story. In the year 1960, Sergei finally opened up to Valentina about the days he had mysteriously vanished. He disclosed that he had been inexplicably transported to 2006 during that period and that he was trapped there for a while before he could come back. After giving this astonishing account, Sergei disappeared once more, this time without ever returning. Valentina never saw him again but received a letter from him later on. Enclosed in the letter was a photograph of a bearded man who looked to be in his 40s. Further investigation revealed that the photo had been taken in a park by the Dnipro River in Kyiv, Ukraine's primary river. Interestingly, the buildings visible across the river in the photograph did not match any current structures. This led to the startling realization that the picture must have been taken in the future. A handwritten message on the back of the photo read, "I am good at everything, and I will try to come back." Again, this discovery further deepens the mystery of Sergei, the time traveler. Could it even be that Sergei was not only in the future, but also had found a way to communicate with people in the past? Let's look into some scientific investigations to search for answers. The theoretical framework of time travel. Time travel, despite being a concept many dismiss as pure science fiction, holds a place in serious scientific discussion. The fascination with moving through time has spurred countless theories and studies.
So he for real vanished on her. That's so messed up. He was like, I'm out in 1960. He never came
But
back.
it took another couple decades before he decided to go poof again.
Yeah, but what the hell? He like went poof and then never came the hell back. What is that? Like, what the hell is that?
Maybe he knew he couldn't control it, but he knew one was coming on and he couldn't stop it. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I understand what you're trying to say, but that's kind of messed up. Like, but he sent her a postcard or whatever. I don't know. I think that's kind of messed up. Like, he tells her.
I'm guessing eventually down the line he figured out how to get back, but not close enough. So him sending the letter preemptively on X date knew that the letter would be able to appear. It's kind of like bootstrapping. He bootstrapped it. Bad. He created something in a closed system is why bootstrap is bad. You ready? What do you need to say? What's up? Hello?
I'm here. Calm down. Kat, if you're there and you're still watching, I don't think Michael meant to delete your comment. I don't think it was done on purpose. Let me see. Yeah, I don't think it was done on purpose. I think Michael accidentally did that. So if you're still there, feel free, write in chat. No one is censoring you. Go ahead, Kirst. You can start the video now.
One notable example is a study published in Classical and Quantum Gravity in September 2020, which proposed a theoretical method for traveling backward in time. This research is rooted in Einstein's theory of relativity, which revolutionized our understanding of space and time. To break it down, imagine time as a river. Typically, we drift downstream, moving forward from the past into the future. However, this study suggests that under certain conditions, it's possible to navigate this river in a circular loop, returning to a point we passed earlier. This looping journey through time is referred to as a closed, time-like curve. A very helpful analogy is a racetrack. Picture yourself driving around an oval track. Each lap represents the passage of time. Normally, you move from one point on the track to the next, just like moving from one moment to the next in time. But what if, after completing a lap, you could somehow end up back at a previous point on the track instead of continuing forward? This is the essence of the closed, time-like curve. The concept also addresses the classic grandfather paradox, where someone might worry about going back in time and causing a contradiction, like preventing their grandfather from meeting their grandmother. The theory suggests that any such attempts would be inherently self-correcting, meaning the timeline would adjust itself to prevent inconsistencies. It's like trying to alter the flow of a river with your hands. The water may momentarily shift, but it quickly returns to its original course, maintaining the overall direction of the flow. In essence, while the idea of time travel might sound fantastical, these scientific theories provide a framework that makes it a fascinating possibility, rooted in the very fabric of space and time, as described by Einstein's groundbreaking work. Though this study presents a captivating theoretical exploration, it resonates with the concept of determinism, which posits that all events, including moral choices, are determined completely by previously existing causes. In this context, determinism suggests that the universe will adapt to any changes, much like a GPS rerouting a driver that misses a turn. According to deterministic views, every event or state of affairs, including every human decision and action, is the consequence of preceding events in accordance with natural laws. This raises intriguing questions. What underlying principles facilitate this realignment and preserve the coherence of reality? Could it be a fundamental quantum force, the very fabric of the universe, or another yet-to-be-discovered phenomenon? Some theories propose that the probabilistic nature of quantum mechanics might be responsible for maintaining reality's consistency, potentially addressing paradoxes through concepts like quantum superposition and entanglement. Regrettably, it will be a long time before we can experimentally verify these theories by sending devices or people through closed time loops. For now, We can only speculate, as humanity has done for ages. The allure of time travel is not a recent phenomenon. It has been a central theme in narratives throughout history, such as the ancient Sanskrit epic Mahabharata, which explored ideas of temporal journeys. This enduring fascination likely stems from our intrinsic struggle with the relentless forward march of time. And just like how a river flows unceasingly, carrying everything along its path, we find ourselves swept along by the current of time, unable to pause or reverse our journey. As Lisa Yasek, a professor of science fiction studies at Georgia Institute of Technology, explained in a 2022 live science interview, time travel stories provide a unique way for us to imagine breaking free from the constraints of linear time, offering new perspectives on our existence. Think of it as being stuck on a one-way street with no option to turn around. Tales of time travel suggest a secret side road that lets us explore alternate routes and destinations. This deep-rooted desire to escape the limitations of time helps to explain why time travel tales, like the urban legend of Sergei, continue to captivate and resonate with people across different cultures and eras. It is just like the appeal of fantasy vacations. Just as we dream of visiting exotic locales to escape our everyday lives, we are equally enchanted by the notion of visiting different eras to escape our temporal confines. These stories allow us to ponder the what-ifs of life, such as witnessing historic...
So I don't think I think about time travel to escape my everyday life. I think of time travel to see what has changed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you know, whenever they say words like that, they mean generally what an NPC is thinking about.
Yeah. And thank you for unhiding Cat. I appreciate it. But I don't know if it's more of a fantasy type thing or I want an explanation. Like I want an explanation to why this is happening and how it's happening. You know what I mean?
And that's kind of what I'm pointing out, because the big thing among a lot of people before 2008/2009, whenever it was named, was time travel. And now suddenly, that's what I'm saying. It's more ways that the non-proletarians divide us, because, like I'm saying, there's some people that think time travel is plausible, yet think Mandela effect is nonsense.
Yeah. Yeah, they think the Mandela effect is nonsense, but it's not. We've witnessed it. Weird things have happened, and a lot of people have seen them, whether they want to acknowledge it or not. So you can't tell.
It's called the McMahon event, and I hate the crazy lady that named it what she named it, because, yeah, exactly. So you ready?
Yep, go ahead.
Historical events firsthand, or peering into the future to see how our actions today shape the world of tomorrow, or even if our inactions of today will affect the possibility of a good life tomorrow. Therefore, many of us feel the desire to transcend the boundaries of time, like Sergei, despite the confusion and disorientation characters like him often face. Sergei's story centers on a UFO transporting him at the speed of light and returning him to Earth decades later. This captivating narrative also ties into Einstein's special theory of relativity, introduced in 1905, which fundamentally changed our understanding of time and motion. According to Einstein, clocks in motion tick more slowly than those at rest, meaning that the faster an object moves, the slower time passes for it. To put this into perspective, imagine you are on a high-speed train traveling near the speed of light. While on the train, you decide to read a book. As you flip through the pages, an hour passes for you. However, when you step off the train, you find that many years have passed for those outside. This is because time slowed down for you on the fast-moving train. Another relatable example is that of twins. Suppose one twin stays on Earth while the other embarks on a journey in a spaceship traveling close to the speed of light. When the spacefaring twin returns, they will be significantly younger than the twin who stayed on Earth. This thought experiment, known as the twin paradox, illustrates how high-speed travel affects the passage of time. These examples highlight the mind-bending implications of Einstein's theory, demonstrating the possibility of how time dilation could make traveling into the future a reality, much like the incredible tale of Sergei. This concept has also been experimentally validated. For instance, if you place an extremely precise clock on an airplane and fly it in the direction of Earth's rotation, the clock on the plane will show a slightly earlier time upon landing compared to those on the ground. Imagine it as two friends synchronizing their watches before a journey. One stays home, and the other takes a flight around the world. When they reunite, the friend's watch who took the flight will be just a tiny bit behind, even though they left at the same time. This practical demonstration of special relativity is even experienced by astronauts, who operate in a time frame that is 0.02 seconds ahead of everyone on Earth. It's like running a marathon where everyone starts at the same point, but one runner gets a head start. These examples underscore the fascinating implications of traveling at very high velocities, offering a glimpse into how time dilation could enable time travel into the future. Just as we experience different time zones when traveling across the globe, moving at incredibly high speeds stretches this effect to more extreme levels, bending our perception of time in ways that make the concept of time travel not just a sci-fi fantasy, but a scientifically grounded possibility. Furthermore, in 1915, Einstein built upon his revolutionary concepts by introducing the theory of general relativity. This theory proposes that gravity is a geometric feature of the four-dimensional fabric known as space-time. Essentially, this means that time moves more slowly in areas with intense gravitational fields, a phenomenon known as gravitational time dilation. To understand this better, think of a clock on the top floor of a skyscraper ticking slightly faster than a clock in the basement. The greater gravitational pull closer to the Earth's core causes time to slow down a bit in the basement compared to the higher floors. This example highlights how gravity affects the passage of time, illustrating the profound implications of general relativity. The notion of time travel, whether it involves venturing into the future or the past, therefore, hinges on the availability of immense energy. To put it into perspective, consider the colossal energy levels found in black holes or supernovae, but our current technological advancements are nowhere near achieving such feats. For instance, creating a stable wormhole, a theoretical passage through space-time, would require energy levels that far exceed our present capabilities. Moreover, controlling...
So,
You are psychic, aren't you? I just sat down.
you should know. I am. Anyway, so the lower you go to the ground, the slower time goes. That's why.
Yeah, that was something I never fully factored into the thought of why do they put these things underground. It might be like he explained the opposite of where the astronaut is ahead of time. Well, if they're behind time and they're messing with reality, they already know what happened to the timeline before it catches up to the people on the crust, question mark?
I don't know. That's weird to me.
Did you see how I just factored all that in?
Yes, I see.
Like, they got to be able to make a bunker that the people inside don't suddenly vanish because they're in a different timeline. Or they change something in the timeline, if you get what I'm trying to explain here.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's kind of like, well, if that's the truth, if you put a clock on the floor or like on the ground and then one on the top of your house, will one tick faster than the other?
The one on the roof will microsecond tick faster. But it'll take skyscraper, like B7 and then floor 197 for there to actually be any. That's why they said the astronaut's 0.02 seconds ahead. The GPS recalculates like on a 0.018 or something like that.
So does that mean I'll live longer because I'm shorter?
I'm going to push play as my final answer. Is that allowed to be the answer?
All right. I couldn't.
And maintaining such a phenomenon would present additional challenges that are currently beyond our technological reach. Nonetheless, an advanced civilization might have the capability to harness these tremendous energies, much like the mysterious UFO that Sergei claimed to have encountered. This thought must have prompted an interesting idea in the mind of one of the psychiatrists who looked into Sergei's case, looking into other facts that surrounded the mystery of Sergei. Again, Dr. Krakow, the psychiatrist, examined Sergei's account and the photograph of the bell-shaped object over Kiev. He considered the possibility that Sergei might have been abducted by aliens, either deliberately or by accident. Such an abduction could have involved advanced extraterrestrial technology far beyond our current understanding. These beings might have had the capability to manipulate space and time, transporting Sergei to another galaxy at the speed of light, and then returning him to Earth at a different time. Dr. Krakow further evaluated the facts surrounding Sergei's sudden appearance in 2006 and theorized that the aliens' technology, possibly harnessing the immense energy of black holes or other cosmic phenomena, could have enabled such a journey. Drawing on Einstein's theory of relativity, he speculated that what felt like mere seconds to Sergei could have actually been decades. This might explain why Sergei's photograph of the UFO seems so enigmatic, thereby prompting another question. Could Sergei have unintentionally stumbled into a wormhole or a space-time rift when he captured the image? The UFO could have had the immense energy required to make such an event possible, you know. However, this does not answer the questions that still remain. Why was Sergei the only one affected? Was he like someone who accidentally stepped onto a moving sidewalk, caught in the wake of the passing spacecraft at just the right moment? And if so, how did he manage to step off this cosmic conveyor belt and return to his original timeline in 2006 without the spaceship's help, only to somehow leap forward again to contact his wife from the future? These mysteries are like trying to piece together a puzzle with missing pieces, leaving us to wonder about the true nature of Sergei's extraordinary journey. But then, the more we dig into the logicality and possibility of this story, the more questions inevitably surface. However, it is now crucial to mention that this entire narrative is a work of fiction. The story is part of a television series titled Aliens, which aired in 2012 on the Ukrainian channel 1+1, a well-known station recognized for its diverse programming, including news, entertainment, and documentaries. The series, spanning 10 episodes, included this particular story in its third episode, Time Traveler. This episode focused on the fascinating and mysterious concept of time travel, weaving in elements of science fiction and speculative theories. Other episodes explored various themes related to extraterrestrial encounters and paranormal phenomena, capturing the imagination of viewers with stories that ranged from alien abductions and levitation to ghostly phantoms and enigmatic crop circles. The show Aliens on the 1+1 channel ventured into stories of the bizarre and supernatural, offering a blend of intrigue and suspense that captivated its audience. Even more intriguing is the fact that each episode of the series began with a disclaimer, clarifying that the aim was to recreate scenes related to controversial subjects. It stressed that the theories or hypotheses presented should not be taken as factual and that further scientific investigation was needed. All scene reconstructions were based on witness statements without any definitive proof of alien existence. This disclaimer meant that any theory proposed in the show was speculative. The series then made it clear that these were dramatizations, implying that Sergei's photos and videos found online are staged. For instance, the photo of Sergei by the river is a fabrication. Upon closer inspection, it becomes apparent that the tall buildings in the background were added using Photoshop. Some buildings appear awkwardly extended, a common result extensive of digital manipulation. A careful look reveals signs of poor Photoshop work, suggesting that one of the buildings in the image could be the Empire State Building in New York. To add to the intrigue, the show often used sensational storytelling techniques to captivate the audience, like a magician's trick that leaves spectators questioning reality. The dramatic reenactments were designed to evoke curiosity and wonder, but they were ultimately fictional. Just as a movie might use special effects to create an illusion, the series employed digital alterations to enhance the narrative. This approach underscores the importance of critical thinking and skepticism when encountering extraordinary claims, reminding us that not everything we see, especially in media, should be taken at face value. Another reminder of the fact that not everything we see should be taken at face value is that the story of Sergei Ponomarenko also finds its place on the Y-Files channel. This popular platform explores various enigmatic tales, including Sergei's alleged time-traveling experience, offering detailed explorations and discussions that captivate and challenge the imagination. Always emphasizing thorough research and critical analysis, the Y-Files channel presents a deep dive into Sergei's story alongside other compelling cases that make one question the boundaries of reality and fiction. With a fascinating blend of...
Thank you. So, do you think the whole Sergei story is fake?
Yeah.
You do? Okay.
This one's nonsense.
Do you have one that isn't nonsense? Or that you would consider not nonsense?
Things related to Project Pegasus
Oh,
is the best thing that I could put down, but I don't have anything quick to grab at this exact second.
I don't mean a video. I just didn't know if you had any, like, what is the difference between why do you think this is fake versus the Project Pegasus?
Because this was more or less a journalistic story for clicks, like we do top 10 things here.
Oh, okay.
Like not here, but you get what I'm stating. Like in this day and age, back in those day and age, that was things people paid attention to, and it was a good story. It'll get a lot of traffic, so to speak. So basically what I'm stating is that, like they said, that this was actually a story written for a show.
Okay.
And it's kind of like, I don't want to say Unsolved Mysteries because that was actually based on real stuff. But, like, it was like a Twilight Zone in Russia. That's kind of what that show was about, where they created that kind of scenario, and it was one-off pieces or something like that. That's where this story originated from, is what they're stating. There's no actual factual evidence that this guy existed, that there was a missing persons report where they came back, somebody disappeared and went forward in time and came back in time. There's no, you get what I'm trying to state here? There's no record of this occurring in reality, is what I'm trying to say.
I don't know. I haven't really looked into it to make the definitive whether it's real or fake. I think some things are made up because they fit too close to movies, but at the same time, some things in reality seem like a movie at the same time. So it's kind of like, I have to look into it a little bit more. I know, like, there's some alien abductions I do believe, and some that I'm like, nah.
Well, we can all say that we've seen a lot of science fiction become science fact.
Yeah, true that. All right, go ahead. You can start the...
Yeah, finish this out real quick. It's only got a minute.
Okay.
Narrative and analysis, this channel has brought the story of Sergei to a broader audience, encouraging viewers to scrutinize the details and consider the possibility of alternative explanations. This inclusion highlights the enduring fascination with time travel and extraterrestrial encounters, and the importance of questioning and investigating the extraordinary claims we come across, further enriching the enigmatic nature of Sergei's tale and other similar phenomena. Now, after all that has been said, do you think Sergei's story could have been another person's reality? If time travel were possible, what do you think are the possible dilemmas that could arise from altering past events or peering into the future? If given the opportunity, Would you travel to the past or the future? What would you have done differently? Kindly share your thoughts in the comments section. If you enjoyed the video, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also, click the next video shown on your screen. You will enjoy it.
Okay, so
Thank you, Sharon.
oh, what did I do? Is it still sharing? Okay, because I want to show you something. All right?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
This is my definitive proof that this entire story is fabricated, and it's this picture right here. Are you ready?
Yes.
Can you see my pointer?
Now move it around so I can see it better.
Oh, so you cannot see my pointer.
No.
Okay, so look over homeboy's shoulder.
Yeah.
Where the buildings are. The side where the buildings go, okay?
Okay.
You see that one building directly over his shoulder that has that white stuff on the front of it?
Yeah.
Now, I want you to pan down the line of buildings and tell me how many other buildings look exactly like that building.
Okay. I see what you mean.
And then pick another building like this other one that I see, two black bars right next to each other. Oh, look, I see two more down here and two more down here.
Okay.
This picture right here makes me think that this whole thing is false. If one piece of it is false, the whole thing falls apart in my perception.
Okay.
You get my point here, especially with a lot of these.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm going to make this go away since we're done with it.
Yeah, you can make it go away. But so everybody in chat and you too, Chris, would you go in the past or in the future if you could time travel? Chris, what would you do?
Simple explanation. Because I'm going to guess this is a singular one-way trip, correct?
Well, no. Say you can go, you can come back to where you're at now. It's a round trip.
Well, either way it goes, it's still going to be the future because definitely not going to go anytime before 1950, so why travel to the past?
Right.
There'd be no point to travel to the past in my perception, except for a nostalgia base to see something I've never experienced from in the past. But through technology, I can only guess that the future can only hold better outcomes.
I don't know. I think
If you want me to remain optimistic and hunky-dory and fluffy and lied all about it.
of course. Go ahead. But
yeah, the future would be my answer either way because of the same reason. It has to be better because it has gotten better.
I think, I don't know if I would go into the future. I don't know if I would want to go into the future. I think that's my thing. Like, I don't think I would want to actually see what was coming because I'm psychic. I already see a lot of what's coming. But
you see why I asked if it was a one-way or a round trip, and the way that you answered was I'd still be stuck in the same situation whether I went to the past or not, so I might as well go to the future.
Yeah, no, I'm like, why not go to the past? There's some
because
people,
I'll be stuck in the same situation whenever I come back. Anything I change would only be changing that timeline according to the way that you framed the question.
Sure. I don't know. I think there are some people I would like to meet and talk to. So if I could go back in the past and talk to different people of our history or of history, I think that would be cool. Maybe I could go in the future, like I don't know, 200 years maybe. Like, how far in the future would you go?
Seeming as all the things are going to work properly for your little machine. Um, I wouldn't go beyond 3,800.
Why? What's the what's the mark of 3,800?
Between 38 and 42, because it's so sort of like in my perception, the technological drop off, where suddenly we're back in the next stone, the post Stone Age, so to speak, post apocalyptic Stone Age.
Okay.
Because then Earth would not be useful anymore. By that point in time, we wouldn't technically be here. And I don't think at that much far into the future, between 38 and 42, that Earth would be considered a paradise. It would probably, if we actually went all the hunky dory route and everything, it would probably be sanctioned. And if we suddenly appeared after that period of time, we're we're galactic felonies. You get what I'm trying to say. It's
Yeah.
like peeing in Yellowstone after that point in time.
Yeah, I think if I went into the future, I'd probably go like 200 years. I want to see what's going, like, with so much that's changed in the past 200 years with technology and everything else. Like, how much do we advance in the next 200 years?
Well,
I
I'm
think
just going to throw a Star Trek reference out here. It's like, create transparent aluminum. Everything will be fine, Si.
All right, guys, my computer is going bye-bye for right now. So I have to change devices.
Or we can just cut the cord because it's 2 hours long.
Well,
I'm
anybody?
not telling you what to do, lady.
I know you're not telling me what to do. Anybody in chat want to come up and talk? Give a minute.
Well, I have to agree and disagree with Need to Connect in a sense that we've obtained different knowledge through the tools that we've used, and we have a different type of generational knowledge this day and age. Not to say that some things fall through the cracks like flat earthers. Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
My bad. Hello. Hi. Are we still here? Let me check the YouTube feed. Snow globers. Snow globers. Hi. Hi. What's your firmament over there?
Crunch, the link is pinned up at the top. All right, let me change devices. So we'll do the switch of devices, and then
Yeah, because I'm going to say something controversial while you're not here.
Curse, behave. I'll tell. Behave. All right.
Mental. Oh, you.
Anyway, all right. Just
mental health is another branch of the pharmaceutical industry. So, profit. So if you think profit for an industry is important, then mental health is important.
Yes, absolutely. Mental health is important.
Okay, so that's my controversial take for tonight. Does that make you satisfied?
Yes.
So how long did it take you to figure out that I knew Cat in the Birdcage? But you kind of can't explain what we're talking about because there isn't anything we're actually talking about. You either know or you don't know, and we don't even know what we know. We just know. And that's the best way to explain that. And you're muted, and we're going to wait for you to what is this? Oh. Oh yeah, but I see all chats. I see all chats. All the chats. So we're waiting for you to figure out how to unmute your mic over there. That's what we're doing. You do exist in other places. I see you existing. Oh. Yeah. I know it's been a while. I know it's a long time. Now you're unmuted, but you're not making any noise. That's whatever
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear sound now. I hear sound now. Hello?
Holy shit. Can you hear me now?
Shit pickle.
All right. Hey, if anybody wants to come up.
Hi, Frog.
Oh, crap. Am I frogging? All right.
Yeah, she said her computer was making fan noises, and she don't like her computer making fan noises.
All right. Am I still frogging now? Sorry.
We'll find out.
All righty. Yeah, sometimes, like, the laptop doesn't last as long as I want it to. And the phone is better, but I can't share things with the phone. So I can't share videos and stuff with the phone. But if somebody else has a video, I can share it. But I can't share off of my computer or off of my phone. You know what I mean?
Because the phone's not allowed to multitask. Moving along.
Yes. So anybody want to come up? I put the link in the chat. I'll stay here a few more minutes. Then if nobody wants to come up and talk, I guess we'll end the stream for tonight. I know there's several people that are live that are going live and are live and stuff like that. Seemed to be a busy night tonight for streaming.
I agree, Crunchy B. There's a lot of things that I've been complaining about YouTube since day one of me walking on these daggum streets. By the way, I'm not asking for anything, but the way to make me do another live show of the Ghost Ship, my subscribers need to go up. So if you're not subscribed to me and you want to see a show, since you've already watched all my shows, because there's less than 100 of them, you go over here and get
Put your link in the chat first.
Yeah, I have 85 videos. So if you want the 86th video, what was my next number?
87.
Yeah, my next number is 325 subscribers.
Oh. So did you do 86 videos or are you on your 86th video?
No, I have 85 videos, and that's how I do my videos because I don't like being redundant.
Oh, okay.
We still have 17 minutes before it's no longer 417 Cat in a Birdcage.
I do want to say this week was the anniversary of Titanic sinking. And
You mean the Olympics? We're going to fight about this.
I don't care. That's the thing. I don't care what the name was. The important thing is that It was a tragedy that happened, and a lot of people got hurt and killed. So that's what I care about. I don't care what name it was. It doesn't make a difference. It doesn't matter. It's a hill of beans. But it was the anniversary of the Titanic slash Olympic or whatever else you want to call it. And if you go to the RMS Titanic YouTube, they did a live stream and they do a whole type of reenactment kind of deal. Very interesting. So if you want to check that out, they also do the expeditions. They took the was it the big statue that was in the grand hallway of the Titanic? They actually, I think they're bringing it up. They're taking it from the ocean. So if anybody's interested, I know some Mandela affected people have a tie somewhere spiritually to the Titanic. So those who are. Plus, they do a lot of the interviews from the survivors, like reenactment interviews, which are really good. They do a lot of research and put a lot of time and effort into that channel. So please check it out.
Oh, that's kind of hilarious how you bring up Titanic and we're talking about time travel and pointing at the movie. There is an idea that Leonardo DiCaprio was a time traveler and he intentionally made sure that the ship sank.
Wait. Say that again?
Okay, Titanic, the movie. Leonardo DiCaprio was a time traveler that intentionally made sure that the Titanic sank.
So he made sure the Titanic sank so he could make the movie?
The movie. The movie where the character
Yes.
Leonardo DiCaprio plays, okay?
Yes.
There's an idea that that character is a time traveler that ensured that the Titanic sank.
Okay.
So that's the story. That's why he doesn't exist, because he was a time traveler.
Interesting. I could kind of see that. There's been a lot of talk about time travelers throughout the years. Like there was that one that said he was from 2036 that was all over YouTube. And then there was the one from 2030. I don't know. I watched a lot of them over the years.
Yeah, there was a handful of them, and it's like they're reappearing again. Like I try to explain to Mr. Waters, it's like every few months, it's like every 2 or 3 years, they'll recap the same story of something that happened way back then. It's kind of like it migrated to YouTube because it's what they used to do on the news. They used to show old footage and tell you that it's happening right now.
Did you watch that movie Tomorrow's War? That was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I'm pretty much. I keep up with Chris Pratt movies, so yeah.
Yeah, I like that movie. That's a time travel movie. I guess
But
you
yeah,
could call it.
I thought the same thing, and the movie's pretty cool. The whole point of how they got there, they should be dead. If you landed in a pool or not, you should be dead. If you landed in a pool, you're definitely dead. If you went any farther, you automatically dead.
Yeah, I agree. There was some. I can't say it was realistic, but it was a good movie. It was an alien
it's
movie
the whole
too.
point of it didn't exactly have to be him, but the thing is that it erases the timeline that died, in a sense, and it's how you get what I'm trying to state here.
Yes, I get what you're saying.
It's how time travel will be a thing because there's fucking some saying about war is the revolution of scientific discovery or some crazy shit like that. And if we were faced with, and I'm fucking quoting shit here, if we were faced with a foe that required us to do something, we'd figure out how to do it because that's the determination of humans. Do you get what I just put on the table?
Yeah, I did.
Don't underestimate a human.
No, never underestimate humans.
I learned this. I learned this. Don't underestimate a human.
Hey guys, if you haven't already, like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell because I'm the queen of pop-up streams. Don't know when they're coming. I think the next one is going to be an astrology stream. Because there's some crap going on. Aries has pretty much taken over the alignment for a lot of it. So check it out and see if you get any information off of it. If the information pertains to you, you'll know. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. That's the way I look at things. But I try to give good advice when it comes to astrology and all that kind of stuff. Also, if you have any topics that you would like to discuss of the supernatural, whether they're Mandela effects or time travel, anything else, parallel universes, the whole shebang, ghosts, everything, then leave it in the community section and I will check it out and get information on it. So you guys contribute whatever you want to talk about, and I'll pull the live stream up and do it for you. But I think we're going to wrap this one up. What do you think, Kirst? Sound good to you?
Why not?
All right. Everybody, y'all have a good night. Thank you for coming in the studio. Crunchy Bee, Need, Mud Rabbit, Jacob Waters, and their links are also in chat, so check them out. Jacob has a really good stream. Curse has a good stream too when he does them. Anyway, and Crunchy does as well.
Hey, if you don't like it, go watch the videos. That's all I got to say. If you want to watch something, go watch the videos because I bet you'll find one you haven't seen.
So go check everybody out that was on the panel and in the chat. Anyone who hasn't posted their YouTube channel, please do so. Even if you have a Rumble channel or anything else that you want to share, you're more than welcome to. And everyone have a good night. And I think I'm going to end this with my little, I didn't do the rock out thing. I really like that music. So here we go. We'll end it. Have a good night, everybody. Stay safe. And remember, we can always agree to disagree.